As some of you may know, I spent many years studying in the Sufi tradition. And Sufism is a mystical path, a path whose purpose and practice is to lead us into a direct experience of God. Pir Shabda, a teacher of Sufism from the Ruhaniyat lineage, said, Sufism involves awakening the human heart so that we can recognize, realize, and deeply embody the knowing that we are unified with the divine, that we are all expressions of the divine. And much like science of mind, Sufism is universalist in nature. It embraces and honors all faith traditions as paths to know God. And the purpose of the Sufi spiritual practice is to awaken the heart, to awaken and bring us back to a connection with our heart, to sense our own divinity so that each one of us can be a beneficial presence in the world and begin to transmit, inspire, and empower others to know the divine, to sense the divine. Which this very message of Sufism is a message of love, it is a message of harmony, and it is a message of beauty. So I'd like to share with you some of the spiritual practices that come from Sufism that have supported me in my life over the years. And they're some of my go-to practices when I feel stuck, when I feel like I've lost touch with my heart, when I feel closed down, when I'm caught up in self-criticism or judgment of others, and even my go-to practices for when I feel like negativity has threatened to take over in my mind. These simple practices can serve to gently bring you back to center, to gently bring you back into a sense of being connected with your own heart, so that you feel more loving, you feel more kind as you go about your day. The first practice is that I go to recite the Sufi invocation prayer, and I'll use it much like a mantra, repeating it over and over to myself. And it goes like this. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being united with the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the mystery, the spirit of guidance. And so I'll recite that over and over again. The part that really stands out to me is toward the one. And for me, it speaks about turning back toward God, turning my attention back to the divine, bringing my attention away from that which is bothering me, worrying me, doubt, fear, and bringing me into a sense of, I am going to recite this until I feel that inner peace that has aligned me with, once again, feeling connected to spirit. The next spiritual practice that I'd like to share is a spiritual recitation practice known as a Wazifa. And it's where we recite one of the 99 Arabic names for God, one of the 99 God qualities, the essence of God that we select for its resonance, for its meaning. And we'll recite it 99 times. For the purpose of our practice here, I'm just going to recite it a few times. But the practice is to take your prayer beads, and in Sufism we call these prayer beads the tasbih, and there's 99 beads on this prayer beads, and the first are 33, and then there's another 33, and then you'll come to a smaller bead that divides the last 33. And the way that you use this is that typically when we're in recitation practice, when we're doing the Wazifa, we recite 33 of the name of God that we're using out loud, and then we will whisper it 33 times to ourselves. And then we will recite it silently to ourselves on the breath 33 times until we have 99 recitations. And I selected for us a essence of God today, and we're going to just recite it for a little bit so that we can feel that embodiment of the vibration and the essence of this within our own hearts, bodies, and minds. And this name of God that I selected, I am reading from page 241 of Neil Douglas Klotz's book called The Sufi Book of Life. And this name of God, the title of the chapter is entitled Tending Your Garden. And he says that when you are guided to this pathway, take the opportunity to feel your heart as a garden in which everything you need is growing, and see yourself living in this garden. And so we'll just begin by centering and breathing in and out. If you want to turn inward and begin to focus on your heart center, and gently breathe in and out. The name of God that I've chosen is Al-Ghani. And when we recite Ya Ghani, I want you to feel it resonating through you. Ya Ghani, 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 Ya Ghani. As you repeat it, you can feel that long E sound. And that sound is representative of life force energy. The life force energy that is activating the growth of your life garden. And if you can sense as you're repeating Ya Ghani, you might ask yourself what's growing within the garden of your heart. And you might also consider what might be outside of your garden right now. And I invite you to continue to contemplate this as I repeat a few recitations more of Ya Ghani, Ya Ghani, Ya Ghani, Ya Ghani, Ya Ghani, Ya Ghani, Ya Ghani. Taking a breath in and releasing. We release this Wazifa practice. And I want to close today with a final Sufi practice known as the Sufi elemental breaths. And this practice was taught by Murshid Hazrat Inayat Khan. He was an instrumental teacher in bringing Sufism to the Western world. And he brought these teachings saying that these breaths are designed to support you with purifying your heart, with balancing your sense of connection with the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And through these different breathing patterns, the idea is to bring about a sense of calm, to release stress in your life, to focus on inner harmony. And I found that when these breaths, when this breathing practice is practiced over time, that when I've done it over time, it can bring a heightened sense of inner connection with the divine, a sense of connection, my attunement to how these elements are moving through me, how I am connected to the world, to the earth, to the elements around me. It brings a sense of connection in the present moment as well. And so we're going to practice this breathing technique right now. So I invite you to just turn within, to relax, and to approach this breathing exercise with a sense of calm, with a sense of gentleness. Just being present to your breath, being present to what is the sensations that are moving through you as you practice. We're going to begin with the breath of earth. And the breath of earth is breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. We're going to have several recitations of this breath of earth. In through the nose, out through the nose. Just continue to focus, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. The breath of earth connects us to the denseness of earth, the minerals, the hard, strong fibers, the metals, the lush, deep soil, how it all connects together, how the earth supports us in standing upright, how we have roots that connect us energetically to the earth, and how roots, both energetic and the roots of trees, the roots of plants, are all about gathering nutrients, holding firm, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And now we're going to move on to the breath of water, which is breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you're breathing the breath of water, perhaps you'd like to visualize the ancient stream beds, deep pools of water, droplets of water being drawn up by the roots of plants. Perhaps imagining soft rain as it showers down, as it drips onto leaves and petals, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Slow and steady, washing clean, purifying. And next we move on to the breath of fire, as we sip air as if through a straw through your mouth and then release it through your nose. The breath of fire. On this planet, our existence depends on that great fire of the sun. Everything we do needs the heat, the intense activity of fire that draws us up as we grow in the sunlight. Fire within our bodies metabolizes our food. Fire lights our way, transforms our ideas with light. And fire is this supercharged, penetrating warmth, in through the mouth, out through the nose. In through the mouth, out through the nose. And now we move on to the breath of air, in through the mouth and out through the mouth. The breath of air, we can hear the winds in the trees, whispering of air, as it moves both the seen and the unseen. It moves from far away. You can feel the breeze as we move about in nature. We can watch it bend the reeds, bend the grasses, ripple through the tall grasses. Air moves in these mysterious ways, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. And lastly, we move to the breath of ether. It's that subtle, refined breath, and it can be in and out through the nose, or it can be any way that breathing feels natural to you, comfortable to you. Ether, as it's just this subtlety. And now as you are doing the breathing, the divine breath is just breathing for you, connecting you with all things. We close this breathing meditation just with an appreciation for earth, fire, water, air, ether, as it all comes together, uniting in the seen and the unseen. Just knowing that these breaths bring us back to center, back to a sense of wholeness. And that you can use any one of these practices at any time to center yourself and to move into a deeper sense of a connection with the divine in your own heart space. So blessings on your path, and thank you for joining me today.